It's intermission time. It's great to get out to the movies.
Al, tell the listener who you are, what you do, the whole gist.
My name is Al Warren. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi.
Cool.
I'd say that I'm a male dancer, a male entertainer.
Did you say dancer?
Yeah.
What kind of dancer?
I do a lot of different styles of dance.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Yeah. I'd say most of my craft like centers around dance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anything from ballet to hip. I really love hip hop, dance. I grew up doing tap. So if you put some tap shoes on this table right now.
We've had a girl tap on top of this table.
Yeah,
I'll show you the video later.
Everybody has the best ideas except for me. We got somebody tapping here. Somebody brought beer.
Yeah. One time we had champagne to celebrate. I don't know what we were celebrating. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Nah, whatever. No one from the studio is gonna.
Oh, they're listening.
But we had champagne and I shook it and popped it and it went into this outlet. And I was like, I fucked up the studio.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
You know what? If they can afford the .com, pirate.com, they can afford a
Rich.
new rich. That's some rich blood right there.
Okay, so sorry, you're a dancer.
I'm a dancer. I'm a poet. I'm a woodworker. And I'm a stepfather.
I love that.
Thank you.
Wait, really quick, back to woodworking, because I'm like, maybe I'll buy something from you. What
Yeah.
kind of things do you
I
make?
like to whittle. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I'll whittle a dagger.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
I'll whittle a sword. You know,
I
a
need
lot
a sword.
of like weaponry, but
Okay.
like safe weaponry. So I round out the edges so you can't really get stabbed.
Be a cute gift for a kid.
Yeah.
Sword fighting.
No, I'm a terrible dancer. I'm terrible with knives, and I'm not a stepfather.
These are all lies?
Yeah.
Damn, that was good.
Thank you.
Okay, because dancing really threw me. I was like, if this guy tap dances, like,
Can you not see me as a dancer though?
no, not at all.
Yeah.
The other day,
Yeah.
I met someone for the first time. We had I was doing this acting class, and it was on Zoom, and then we finally did it in person. And I told him, like, you're so much taller than I expected you to be. And he was like, that was such a backhanded compliment. And I was like,
Surely he hears that though, right?
Yeah, I was like,
tall people know.
I in my head, I'm like, you have the face of a short person, and I'm sorry. You know, but I didn't say that.
Wait, I'm curious. What kind of acting are you studying?
Oh, I mean, we had a prior guest, Skylar, who's like a casting director, and she was doing her first series of classes on Zoom just so that it was kind of like a side hustle for her. So when her day job, she's like casting for film and TV. And it's just people, I think, who want to take acting class, but from the perspective of a casting director.
Yeah.
And I did musical theater as a kid. And recently from doing this podcast, I've just been like itching to do something.
Yeah.
So I took the class. I thought I was bad every single day. I just told them this. And we had the final thing this week, the showcase or whatever.
Which was like a scene that you did?
Yeah, scene. And it was a chemistry read with someone else in the class.
Okay.
And it was in person. So we had like everyone from the class watching, plus if they wanted to bring people and like some industry people. And everyone told me they thought I was an actor. So it felt really good.
What do you feel like you picked up?
That's a good question. Well, my biggest fear was memorizing lines, which is funny because like that's like such a small portion of acting. But I always felt like I could act if I wanted to, because I think I'm pretty comfortable in my skin, and I think that's a big portion of it.
Yeah.
And I also love analyzing people, and
Yeah.
I think a big part of reading a script is like analyzing the character. So I think what I picked up was truly just a good way to memorize, which is just me doing voice memos of the other lines and then listening to that over and over again and seeing if I can fill in the blanks.
Of the other lines? Of your partner's lines?
No, of mine. Like,
Of your
because I
lines.
didn't want to ask anyone to read with me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I picked up on. Just like responding to the person, because you get so focused on what you're going to say and you forget that you're just reacting to someone talking to you like any other day.
Totally. Yeah.
But it was fun.
Cool.
Anyways, that was my tangent. But I'm dead that you lied with all of your three things.
I really like every part of me right now wishes that I would have sustained that.
No, that would have been cool.
I should have.
I could see you as a stepdad.
Sure.
And I really wish you were a woodworker because
I do too. You know what's funny? A guy that I haven't talked to in like 17 years texted me today. A kid that I went to high school with. And we caught up, and he was like, yeah, I've got 2 kids and 2 stepdaughters. And he sent me a picture of them, and they're like in college or something.
Whoa.
Like what?
Trippy.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I'm only in my like late 20s, but I grew up in a place where people like already have kids and stuff, which to me I'm like we're so young.
Right.
And I'm going home in the holidays and I'm going to be with people who have like 5-year-olds.
How old was your mother when she had you?
Yeah, so she was only, I think, 27.
Right.
Which is gnarly.
I know, the age was younger then.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, did you even give me a real answer? What do you do?
I'm an actor and director.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you pride yourself in more?
Ooh, I don't know.
And what are you better at?
I don't know. I love both. Directing can just be such a weight. Like it feels like it's never quite over with. Mm-hmm. And I like that acting can be like a good day's work.
Okay, yeah.
And you can
a little more instant gratification.
Or just like a little bit able to take some time for myself. When I'm acting, like that's all that I have to do. And the productions that I've directed, like it seems to be kind of you need to be a little bit of a Boy Scout knife. Even if I'm not good at everything, I need to know how to collaborate with people who are like production design or something like that. So I feel like the phone is always like, if I'm in pre-production or production, it's just like I'm never off.
Yeah.
But, I love both. I love the construction of making a scene happen. I love to work with actors. I love to try things out. And as an actor, I like to just play and fuck around. And I like to work at it,
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just thinking if anyone's ever a director or producer, any of those types of roles, you can't just go for the weekend to like Big Sur and have no service. I feel like you always have to be on.
No doubt. And sometimes I need to go to Big Sur with no service, So, the acting thing is a lot more, like I'm not needing necessarily to lean on other people. It can be a lot more like me going to the gym.
Yeah.
And directing is very much like, you're riding a train, and if the pieces behind you fall off, then the train is fucked.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that everything is clicking.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question we ask everyone that comes on the show. I don't know if you will recognize it from listening, but if you had to pick a movie that describes your life, either right now or just in general, what would you pick?
Do you know Clifford?
The Big Red Dog?
No. Yeah. No, with Martin Short. You've got to see this movie.
Okay. Martin Short, Charles Grodin. And Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen's in it.
She's so great.
She's great, yeah. She's great, but that movie is really funny, and I think that something about that flavor of movie is very dominant in my life right now. I have a 2-year-old, and Clifford is played, he's played by an adult, but he's like a crazy-ass 9-year-old.
Yeah.
And my kid is like super funny, really sweet, but he's getting into that age where he like wants things done his way.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit like Clifford is at the top of mind right now.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you would ask that question. So I'm shooting from the hip. But
no,
you should see that. It's funny as shit.
Everyone's answers are always like that.
You should see Clifford.
I will watch it.
Really
and also,
funny.
though, do you know the Rotten Tomatoes score on this?
Please tell me.
18%.
Yo, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
I'll watch it. And also 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's a great runtime.
Great runtime.
And
super funny. Charles Grodin is a genius, too.
Yeah.
I feel like we overlook him a lot. But, of course, Martin.
Martin.
Is the jam.
90s is my favorite decade for films, so.
Just definitively 90s is?
Yeah.
Okay, like what?
I love in general, like erotic thrillers. I love like a 90s erotic thriller. Mm-hmm. And so like
Body Double.
Yeah, any of those are going to be my jam. I also love like it has a bit of low res to it, but high quality and really character driven films. And I don't know, I guess it feels nostalgic for me from like when I would first be watching them because that's my childhood. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because like I've asked that in the past to different guests, and sometimes I'll make people pick a decade.
A decade?
Yeah. Like do you have a decade that comes to mind?
That's such a tough question. No.
Really?
I couldn't pick one. I feel like my favorite movies kind of are from
All over the place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, like, if I were to look at my Letterboxd or in general, I mostly am watching 90s movies, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I may agree with you. Like, it's something that feels just kind of like the time period that that I'm from or have gone back to over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. So I looked you up, obviously. Tell me a bit about your IMDb picture. You have, like, a wig on, I think.
Yeah.
What's it from?
That's from a film called Ear by Kristoffer Borgli, and it's been a while since I've seen that film, but he, like, let me get this straight. Yeah, he's like, his ear is just like growing, and it's looking really gnarly, and I am just like a friend of his, and I take a pill that makes me really tan and really like have healthy hair.
Is it
Have you seen
comedy?
You haven't seen it?
No. I just was like, this is a funny photo. I like it.
Okay, you should see that.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah, and like something happens in that moment, so
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a good film. It's it was made during the pandemic, and it's kind of like
so semi-recent.
Gross comedy. Yeah.
Okay. So I typically like to get into our guests' movie taste before we get into their movie that we're discussing, for the listener to get a feel for what you like, what you hate, maybe. Do you have certain genres you gravitate towards consuming?
I mean, I love movies. By and large, I think every genre has, great offerings and really bad ones too. But I guess like I'm drawn to kind of tense comedies, and that can kind of, even like Clifford is like a tense comedy. It's got an 18%. That's insane to me. It is like very kitschy and silly. But no, I love like, I love a comedy that feels like you're not really sure if you're supposed to laugh at this moment or not. Like Roy Andersson is a Swedish director.
Okay.
Ruben Östlund, who made Force Majeure.
Oh, yes. Love that movie.
So I like that feeling of uncomfortableness in a movie theater that kind of, like stitch by stitch, starts to erupt with laughter.
Do you think that your humor, like in your day-to-day, is like that? Where people don't know, like you say something and people don't know if they should laugh or not?
It worked tonight
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
true.
Yeah. No, I'm just naturally funny as shit. So I can adapt to whatever environment and be whatever type of funny. No, so like maybe tense comedies, maybe also I really like I like, for better or worse, I like strong performances. So there's plenty of movies that have like really great performances that aren't great movies.
Yeah.
I've been kind of researching like priests for something that I'm going to do, and I watched Doubt. With Philip Seymour Hoffman and Meryl Streep and Amy Adams, and the performances are great. The movie is fine.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not like...
I like those kind of movies.
Yeah, so I feel like it just depends on what stage I'm in. Like if I'm writing, I'm looking for things that will, ignite some sort of like energy in the direction that I'm looking to go. So I'll watch things that are, I think, like similar to what we're writing, or things that are polar opposite. And then, at other times, like I'm just really into an actor, and this comes in waves. It happens like every year, but I've been watching just a lot of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I'm his biggest fan. I love him more than anything.
Where were you when he died?
Oh my, okay, well, way to put me on the spot. I'm like, I love him more than anything. I don't know. Do you?
I love him more than you do, because I do know.
Okay, tell me.
I was behind.
Damn.
I was behind a drum kit.
Okay.
I was hired to play drums at this church in Jackson, Mississippi. This was before I moved to LA, and I moved back to Mississippi to make a film from New York. And I was like just checking my phone in the middle of this service, and someone texted me like, "Yo, Phil Hoffman like OD'd last night." And I looked it up, and he was dead. And I remember being so like drained, and just left the church. And I finished the service, but I left without saying goodbye.
He's an undoubtedly insane actor. I just am like, he oozes, I think, genuine. He just seems very genuine to me.
Absolutely. Very truthful in whatever role he's playing. Like there's always something that you can tell is meaningful to him as a as a person.
Yeah.
And the character kind of comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
I love him in everything he's done, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sad. I'm still bummed that he's gone.
Yeah.
He was so young, and like, yeah, it just would be crazy to see what he would be like now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, we have his son at least to see his
Totally.
work,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Very
Keep
cool.
the legacy going.
Cooper. Yeah. Keep it going, man. He seems great.
Yeah.
From what I've seen him in. Yeah. He's in that new movie Saturday Night.
Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in that. I wasn't sure if I was correct in saying that. I do really want to see that movie.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I definitely want to see a few people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm a Saturday Night Live fan, and so I like
Mhm.
the notion of it. It'll be cool
Yeah.
to see the I
The
love
notion of Saturday night. You like.
just
Yeah.
like the vibe. I love a period piece like that. They have to be so specific in the costume and in the set and everything.
And also, I guess one thing that endears me to the film is like it's like the 90 minutes leading up, so there's that like built-in pressure cooker, which sounds kind of interesting. But Jason Reitman's is like a hit or miss filmmaker for me. Yeah. Can be a little.
Is it out yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to see it.
I think it came out today or last night.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, do you have a film that you admire but you wouldn't watch it again?
Absolutely. I have a handful. Like Amour by Michael Haneke, which is one of the most devastating films I've ever seen. And I knew that after I watched it, like, I can't touch that again. It's just too, I don't know. I've watched grandparents go through dementia and Alzheimer's, and that just being such a devastating illness mixed with like Michael Haneke's very specific style of shooting a scene or creating rhythm in his films, no music, just like utter sadness. It's not like I'm afraid to feel sad or something, but I feel like that movie did what it needed to do, and like to go any further would be just like punching myself in the balls. Come and See is pretty wild. I mean, I would probably watch it again if it was showing at like the Egyptian and someone was in town and like had never seen it and we had nothing else to do. Yeah. But I doubt that I would like go and seek it out again. I remember being like really, and I don't know how this movie holds up, but Blue Valentine,
yeah,
like Derek Cianfrance with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, and I forget her name, but the fighting, it's like a relationship deteriorating.
Yeah.
And the flashback of their love, what it once was, to the present day.
Yeah, and I think it was like I was going through a breakup or something, so it probably wouldn't hit me like it did, and I was like young.
But it is one of those movies where you really think like, is there such thing as true love? And
Yeah,
that's a good example.
What about you?
I know I always ask questions and then I'm like,
a movie that you liked but you could never watch again.
I have a list actually of movies that, because I'm only thinking of sad movies really, is what I probably wouldn't want to like indulge myself with again.
Is that on Letterboxd where you keep that?
Yeah. Oh, I had Blue Valentine on here.
Really?
Oh, The Father is another dementia one.
Oh, right. You know what? I
had that on here.
That one's sad, but I could watch it again.
Yeah, because, okay, so I have on here, everything on here, actually, I'm like, I'd watch that again. I had Manchester by the Sea, I'd watch it again. Beautiful Boy, I'd watch it again. I liked Beautiful Boy a lot because it's a true story, and it's in the Bay Area, and I'm like a sucker for a Bay Area movie.
Right. What are the best Bay Area movies?
I have another list. I have Milk on here, about Harvey Milk.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
Big Eyes was a cool one.
Okay.
It's Tim Burton, and it has have you seen it?
No.
It stars Amy Adams, and it's about this woman who was an artist, and she would paint these. You might even recognize her art. She would paint these caricatures with really, really big eyes. They were kind of creepy looking.
Yeah.
And her husband would take credit for her art, and so no one ever knew she was the artist because he just said that they would sell better if they were coming from him.
Right.
And so it's just about.
And Christoph Waltz plays that guy, right?
Yeah. Last Black Man in San Francisco, the A24 movie. I guess this isn't entirely what I already asked you, but is there a film you think perfectly encapsulates a decade?
My life. A decade.
Yeah.
A decade.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Boogie Nights is coming to mind.
Yeah. Right. I was thinking Magnolia.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that would and I would think that
the game show, the TV show.
Yeah. But Boogie Nights was made in the 90s but encapsulates a different decade.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying.
Or Boyhood kind of is like a ton of different decades.
Yeah.
Because it truly was made in those times.
Right.
Well, I guess not decades, it would be like 2 decades.
How long did they shoot? 10 years?
Yeah, maybe 1 decade.
And now he's doing a 25-year movie.
Yeah, which is cool.
Crazy.
What's the last film you saw in theaters and last film you saw at home?
I saw The Substance.
Ooh, that was my last theater watch.
What'd you think?
So fun.
Yeah.
I love how it got crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
Visually cool. Everyone was laughing at the end.
Yeah.
Fun environment.
Definitely.
And good branding, and I'm a sucker for good branding.
In the movie.
No, like online.
Yeah.
Like their internet presence.
But it's directly tied to the movie.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed it for sure. Same with my experience. Like the audience was, was loud and like it was fun. It was a fun environment. The last movie that I watched at home, I just watched Between Two Worlds. Juliette Binoche plays a novelist from Paris who wants to get closer to like the working class, so she moves to this small town and like cuts ties with everyone and starts to become a cleaning lady.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was good. I love her. She's like got to be one of my favorite actors that's alive. So I watched it for her, but I also love Emmanuel Carrère as a writer. I love his movie La Moustache. And it was good. It was good.
She was in Chocolat as well.
Right. She was. Before I also watched this week Walk Up by Hong Sang-soo, South Korean director. Do you know him?
Hong Sang. You're putting me on the spot. What's it called? Walk Up.
Walk Up. Yeah, and that was on Canopy. Canopy rocks, by the way. If you don't have a Canopy, you got to get a Canopy.
Okay. Another one to add to my list.
It's free. It's a public library thing. But like in California, in New York, the laws are different, so I don't think you're able to like access it. But Canopy has like a lot of really good and kind of deep shit. You have to kind of like sort to find it, but there's good stuff there.
Walk Up looks really good, and this was not on my radar.
Do you know about him, Hong Sang-soo?
I was looking at his like other films, and I think that I have these like on my watch list, but I can't say that I've seen any of him.
He's the shit. Some people really hate him, and some people love him. I mean, it's a very different style of movie. He writes the screenplay. I mean, he has an idea of the movie and casts it, and then in the morning of shooting, he writes that day's scenes, and then he edits when they wrap for the night, and then he wakes up early the next day, writes that day's scenes.
Whoa.
So he'll be done making the movie. They'll shoot for like 15 days, and then he'll edit for like a week, and the movie is done.
That's gnarly.
It sounds, it is gnarly, but it's like, not everyone could do that.
Yeah.
I think he's got a special touch and a special like style that allows him to do that. But yeah, I love his movies, and I really liked Walk Up a lot.
Cool. This is fun. I love when the guest gives me so many like movies I have to go see now. If there was a documentary of like behind the scenes how this movie was made, for a movie that you like, what movie do you wish it was? Did I word that?
Yeah, you did. That's good. That's a good question. I would like to see. Have you seen The Celebration?
No.
By Thomas Vinterberg? I don't know why, but I feel like I would like to see the vibe on set because it's really charged. There's like an accusation that happens at this dinner, and it's very tense. And maybe I'm just answering all of your questions with just what's on the top of my head.
Well, that's
because there's got to be a better answer than.
Well, there's no right answer, and that's what's fun actually is having people come on because it's like, what are these movies that are just bobbling around people's heads and where they go to? Because everyone's answers are going to be so random and based off of like what they watched recently, what they saw recently.
I mean, I would like to see them making that just because I'd like to understand how they created that tension, but also like thinking about Joaquin Phoenix. I would like to see him doing the Joker, or Beau is Afraid.
Beau was Afraid. No, that's not the one you were in Dream Scenario.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah.
Your experience?
Yeah, it was great. Nick Cage saw Ear, actually, the one that you were asking about.
Yeah.
And so when I met him finally, like we had some Zoom readings. When I met him on set, he like really liked that character and like did a lot of the scene in front of me. And it was a really intense day on set. It was like a stunt day with it's the scene where Julianne Nicholson like goes to the Ring of Fire and it was windy. And yeah, he was just so sweet. Yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, Chris is the director, is one of my close friends, and I was happy to see all of those pieces come together. He was working with a different actor before Nick, and then, you know, COVID was happening, and yeah, I pivoted, and Nick Cage got the role, and everything came together, and I was in Toronto for like 3 weeks. My son was like 4 months old. Yeah, met a lot of great people, like made a lot of really good friends on that shoot. Yeah, it was great.
That's sweet. I now want to get into your movie, Dogleg. Would you be able to summarize
What would you rate it on Letterboxd? And you can be really honest.
I know,
with
I
me.
actually don't, like, this is a cop-out answer, but I don't rate movies on Letterboxd. I just put watched or want to watch, you know?
Okay.
So I don't rate movies.
Okay.
I literally, yeah, I don't even want to give that answer, because also this genre of movie to me is like I think the only movies I've ever rated are like blockbuster movies, and this is like an indie day in the life type of movie.
This is a blockbuster. Let's
oh,
just be
okay. So I'm
honest.
so sorry.
Yeah, you kind of miss. I know it looks low budget, but that costs a lot of money to get it to look that low budget.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
What were you asking me?
Like if you could summarize it. I have a summary here, but it's always kind of interesting to see how like you would summarize it.
I just talked to like my childhood best friend when I was on the way over here, and he was like, me and Victoria had a laugh at your expense today, and I was like, what was the laugh? And she like found the movie on iTunes, and it says like a balding.
I saw that on
director.
It says that on Letterboxd too.
Yeah. And he was like, she was laughing, and she was like, why would they do him dirty like that and call him a balding? And Chad was like, well, he is balding. And she was like, yeah, but like they could have just taken it all the way and said bald.
Yeah, balding is rude.
And then he was like, yeah, and they could have just taken it all the way and said like an aspiring director instead of a director. So they were just kind of like giving me a burn.
Yeah.
And I was like, spoiler alert, I wrote that.
Oh, you did?
Synopsis. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, and I literally chose a different one because I was like, I don't like this one.
Yeah, a bald. What is it? Like a balding indie director loses his girlfriend's dog at a gender reveal party on the morning of a big shoot.
Yeah, I don't even
Something
remember
like
it because I didn't use it. I think I.
What did you use? What did you?
I think
what did
I
you
got
have?
this from IMDb.
A super hot buff guy.
Actually, this one does say amateur director.
Okay.
Amateur director Allanne loses his beloved dog the morning of an important shoot. A film critic offers some candid observations on a series of incomplete shorts that Allanne has spent his own money making. Allanne grows desperate for the day to be over as the pursuit of his lost dog and the chaos of filming start to blend. You didn't write that, did
No.
you? Yeah. And how do you feel about it?
I don't like that.
You hate it?
Yeah.
That is weird. I never thought about that. Other people trying to summarize your film.
That's fine. I don't hate it. I just like.
No, we hate
I'd
it.
rather it be shorter.
Oh.
We do hate it. Yeah. No, I'm all for anybody saying anything about the movie. I'm just happy that folks are watching it for sure. And that sounds like humble, but really I mean that. Like it took 6 years to make it. So if someone wants to like, I've seen some reviews that were real mean and nasty, and
Really?
they don't bother me. I kind of like them.
I
They stick with me longer than the ones that are like, this is the best movie of the year or something. Like I like the ones that are like, man, fuck this bald white asshole.
You know, it'd be kind of funny if you like printed and framed them somewhere.
Yeah, all the bad ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, the title of the movie. Can you share the name and like why?
Do you know what a dogleg is?
No.
Like on a golf, I'm not a golfer, but we learned this term. A dogleg curve on a golf course is a spot on the course where you would not be able to hit the ball. Like you'd have to like go around.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like a dogleg curve or something.
Yeah.
We were making the movie under a different name for years, and that name just didn't fit anymore. So we had like a list of names, and I knew that I wanted it to feel snappy, maybe one word.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was more of a feeling than anything.
Yeah.
The word dogleg is not said in the movie. And it really has no meaning. It just feels like the energy of the film, I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And I guess like there's a lot of like dogleg turns for the characters in the film. A lot of like surprise or whatever. For them. Yeah.
So this was Braindead's first feature they've produced. How did that connection happen?
They technically came on after we were done editing. And
okay.
Steve Smith, who was working for Braindead at the time, was asking me about maybe being in something that he was going to direct. And he was like, what have you been up to? And I was like, we finally like locked the picture on Dogleg. And he was like, can I see it? And so we sent it. And then, yeah, they FaceTimed me the next day. And they were just like, would you want this to be Braindead's first feature?
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like a big fan of Braindead. I'm a graphic designer, so I've always liked their apparel.
Yeah.
And I work in fashion, so it's just like, I don't know, Braindead's always been in my ether.
Yeah.
I still actually haven't gone to the movie theater, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is shocking.
That
I just
theater is
haven't.
great. And they do a great job programming it. Like,
Yeah.
when we were showing it, we showed it there so many times last year, but there was a guy named Daniel who has since moved on. And so I'm not really quite familiar with who's programming it now, but yeah, it's always consistently good.
Yeah. I even thought about when I was thinking of going to a movie tonight and I was prepping for this, I'm like, maybe tonight's my night. And
What are they showing?
I didn't even look. I just assumed that there'd be something tonight and I would go.
Yeah.
I like to just live life at by the seat of my pants. Is that the phrase? I always say phrases wrong.
Cool. You heard it here first. Megan likes to live life by the seat of her pants.
Is that a real
Pirate.com.
Okay, what I'm about to say, I don't know if you're going to disagree with. I wrote this with a question mark at the end. The film sort of explains itself at the end, question mark. It gets slightly meta of what the point was, if there is one, question mark. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, 100%. We always imagined the structure of the film being like an A-B switch. So like Allan's stuff is the A switch, and then the films that he's making are like the B switch. And then at the end, we wanted to have like a C switch where it was kind of both things happening at once.
It was
like
cool.
Some characters from the short films, and then like the people from the gender reveal party, and then
the short films that he's making, and then the main plot of it, are those his stories?
So like those are just films that he's been making, and it's almost like Mystery Science Theater style. They're kind of talking over it.
Yeah.
So he's made those. Are you asking like, did he experience those things?
No, I guess it's like, well, I guess that is my question, is like, these are the films he's made.
Yeah.
And the he is you, but it's a character.
Yeah.
It just felt very meta, and I didn't know what like the reality was. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense, yeah. And how did that grab you? Was that kind of frustrating, or?
No, I thought it was cool because I didn't. The very last scene I really didn't expect.
Where I die.
Yeah, where you die and you kill everyone. I was like, that's crazy.
People, you have no idea how many people are like, oh, the substance stole their ending from Dogleg, and I'm like, hey, you said it, not me.
That was funny. That was good. That was good. I've heard that too. It's crazy. What's the origin story of this film? Give me context, but then also tell me, was this movie inspired by anything?
I told my friend Chad when I was on the phone with him that if I get asked that question, I'm going to answer that I was inspired by Hibachi, Tommy Boy, and Chad. So shout out to all three of those guys. Tommy Boy, the movie, Hibachi, like, I mean, we have Benihana out here. Mississippi, we have so much good hibachi. In Mississippi, it's weird. We have amazing hibachi restaurants on every corner. No, I moved here in 2015 and like wanted to make a feature by 30, and I had like a feature script written ready to go, but it was going to be mad expensive and nobody knew who the fuck I was. So then I wrote another script that was going to be even more expensive.
Love it.
And someone had seen some stuff that I'd done previously and contacted me and said that they were starting a micro budget feature company. And could I make a film for $100,000?
Huh.
And so my producer was like, we can find money to match that and we could do it. So I was directing this shoot at DJ Jazzy Jeff's house in outside of
It looked like my neighborhood.
Philadelphia.
Oh. Wait, you were shooting there?
I was shooting a different thing, and I found out that the company wasn't happening.
Oh.
But we had already begun buying plane tickets.
Ooh.
We had started hiring crew and actors. So we kind of just like didn't have any money, and we began filming and kind of were doing it in this like piecemeal way. And we shot 6 short films. Initially, the structure was going to be like Slackers by Richard Linklater. Or Slacker.
Yeah.
Where it's like a baton pass from one character to the next. And then at the end, we were going to end it in Tokyo, and that character was going to fly to Mississippi and like come to a concert of the first character who we see, who's this like 90-year-old blues singer. But yeah, COVID hit. We liked what we had, but we didn't really feel like it was going to do what we wanted it to do in the theater. Like it was going to be maybe a more challenging ask to stay sustained with that structure.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of just like hit the drawing board, and it was really not my idea to create the Allanne character. It was Michael Bible's idea, my co-writer.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few friends who were watching cuts of the short films, like, and then watching what I was doing in other films and just being like, why wouldn't you be in this? And I was like, because, I mean, it doesn't make any sense, you know? But Michael started to kind of like really chip away at that. And once we kind of discovered that we could like fold some of it in on itself, be honest about some of the process that we've been through and use it, then like a whole kind of different energy started to form. And yeah, we began production in 2018, and then we wrapped production in like July of 2021.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, and then we edited right up until Braindead came on, which was like November of 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's streaming.
Yeah.
Because I watched, what did I watch it on? I think Apple
on
TV.
Mubi? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's on Mubi. Yeah, you can rent it on Apple TV,
Yeah.
and it just came out on Blu-ray with Vinegar Syndrome.
Sick.
Yeah.
Other than the Linklater film you mentioned, was there any other inspiration that came?
I feel like there's inspiration from everything. Like, I love movies about movies being made.
Yeah.
I realize that that's a trope, but I was not scared of that. I liked leaning into that.
Yeah.
So I love like Day for Night by Francois Truffaut.
Uh-huh.
I think that is one of my favorite movies, and definitely my favorite in that genre of like movies about movies being made. And then like, you know, going back to like tense comedy, I think Michael Bible and I like share a love for a similar sense of humor. I think I have like a lot of hesitation about certain stylistic things that I see that I just don't want to do. So then I become like, we have kind of a strict like camera language that was informed by like a lot of different movies, like kind of transcendental cinema. So like Ozu or Bresson, like the camera is really static a lot of the time. And then like, yeah, the scenes themselves, we, I mean, like edging on Screwball, kind of wanting things to get like a little blown out, but never in the performance. Like it should always feel truthful, you know? So I don't know. I think that there are a lot of different movies that kind of apply for all of those different considerations that we had. And there's not one real like overarching kind of thing that I can point to. I know I love Shortcuts. I love Robert Altman, of course.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will talk about that movie when we talk about Dogleg, which is fair. But I wasn't really watching too much Altman when I was making this. I just love him, and maybe that's just kind of gotten down into what I like to make.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really like studying his stuff or looking at that. Yeah. You can't really see it in the movie. I don't think that there's much of this, but yeah, definitely like Hong Sang-soo and Abbas Kiarostami. Like watching a lot of them as we were editing the movie. And yeah, really interested too in like Tony Erdmann by Marin Ada. You know that film?
No.
Oh, you got to write Tony Erdmann down.
Okay.
That's a movie you need to like take a little coffee or an Adderall. It's like 3.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
But it's kind of a comedy. I don't know. I feel like I'm just like talking nonsense right now, but there
No,
were
you're
a lot
not.
of
Everyone
movies.
that listens to this show, I feel like, is just itching for movie name drops so they can be like, I've seen that, you know?
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to throw
No,
in there?
I'm curious about what you felt about it.
Well, I'm fresh off of watching. I literally just watched it in my living room, and so it takes me a while to like sit with my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to know if you liked it or not.
Yeah.
I'm not putting you on
Yeah.
that. I want to know like how it grabbed you. What are you feeling?
I thought the ending was really clever. I kept thinking like one part I liked that it reminded me of my neighborhood because I think you were filmed like the Echo Park area. Yeah. So I was
for the mattress scene.
Yeah. These are all just like miscellaneous thoughts I had. I thought that the scene with the stylist, I felt bad for her. And like
the stylist?
Yeah, well, she was like picking out the outfits for
right. Yeah.
The breakdown on set felt like realistic, and I felt like a scenario. I don't work on film sets, but I'm like, oh yeah, this seems like a real scenario that happens, and it probably is awkward, and everyone's like, do we laugh? Is this like funny or is this fucked up?
Yeah.
I liked the phone call from the girlfriend at the end, where she was like something about a naked lady. Anyways,
yeah.
Her whole demeanor was cool. I'm like, this is a cool girlfriend.
Angela Trimber, she did a great job with that.
Oh, the dad was funny. It made me think of like such a classic parent, like kind of like if my parents are listening, I'm sorry, I love you, but like kind of just calling you while you're in the middle of doing something and you're working, and they're just like really interrupting your flow and don't realize that there's something else going on, and then they try to give you advice and you're like, I don't need that right now. And then the tie-in later with the help that he gets, I thought that was funny.
The dog shaman. That's David Aaron Baker, who plays my dad. Got to shout him out.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah, that was really funny to me. I'm trying to think of what else, other scenes. Obviously, like the mattress scene is like uncomfortable, and you think that they're like probably like drugging his tea is what you'd assume. Those girls were funny. I thought that they were like, all the acting was really strong. Yeah,
thank you. I agree. I mean, those are good ass actors that I cast, and we had fun.
It's just a lot of interesting characters, and I think that's why I was getting the high maintenance.
I love all of the actors that are in the movie. Like, I really mean that. I mean, I'm really close friends with some of them. Some of them,
hate them.
Some of them I hate them. But they're all really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was a cool watch. I felt like it was fun to know that I was about to meet you, and it's like you directed it and you're in it. So I felt like I did kind of know you before coming into this, which was cool. Yeah. Because obviously you're playing a character, but I still got you from it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching, really. I appreciate
for sure
everybody that's watched it.
Yeah. I'm going to give you like a scenario, and then you tell me what movie the person in this scenario should watch. Okay. It'll make sense once I say the first one. Got it. So the first I'm going to have is Missing Family or Homesick. If
you're missing your family or you're homesick,
what movie comes to mind that you're like, you should watch this? And it's really just, there's no obviously right answer. It's just where your head goes.
We should talk about Kevin, because it'll make you just not want to be around
That's
your family
gnarly
anymore.
Answer.
And you'll be satisfied with where you are. You won't miss your family at all.
That's funny.
And you'll be happy to just exist in the loneliness that is your life.
Okay, next we have Overwhelmed and Need to Unwind.
Have you ever seen Koyaanisqatsi?
You're just going to keep saying films that I haven't
seen. I mean, that shit is wild, but it is relaxing. It's like Planet Earth before Planet Earth, but very cinematic. I mean, it's not Planet Earth, but it's, it's nature and like urban living.
Okay.
And all of its beauty and degradation. But it's kind of relaxing.
Nostalgic for summer.
The Sandlot.
Oh, cute. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Needing a sense of hope. Hope for the world.
Okay. Forrest Gump? I don't know. What movie gives you hope? Yeah, right?
Let's skip this one.
This one tripped me up. This one tripped my ass right up.
Okay. Want to experience a roller coaster of emotions.
Want to experience a roller coaster of emotions. Husbands by John Cassavetes.
And finally, I'm just going to add one off the tops.
Yeah. And then can I have one after you?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me or for yourself?
For both of us.
Oh, God. I was going to just come up with one, but I don't even have one. So if you have one, go.
What movie would you watch to get pumped the fuck up?
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Like you're about to go fight somebody.
Okay.
Or you're about to go drag race somebody.
Oh, okay,
Or
okay,
you're about
okay.
to go like paintballing. I would watch Hoop Dreams. I would watch all of Hoop Dreams. I would feel it, you know? I would feel it as I was watching it each moment. And then I would be pumped the fuck up and I could go out and like tackle somebody.
That's gnarly.
If that don't pump you up, nothing will.
I'm thinking like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like frenetic pump up.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. Okay, I'm taking over this podcast.
Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
3 actors at the top of your mind right now. They could be
Harris Dickinson.
Oh, you like Harris Dickinson.
I
You brought
love
him up with
I love him. I just watched the trailer for Baby Girl.
Okay.
And I'm excited to say the least.
He's great. I love him too.
That's my answer. Two more.
Did you watch Triangle of Sadness?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I'd seen him in a few things and I just really didn't put together it was the same person.
Yeah.
I'm not very observant.
Okay.
Ella Purnell.
Yeah.
She's cool. She has a movie coming out and she just had a TV show based off of a video game called Fallout. Yeah.
Right.
Kieran Culkin. I love him.
Yeah.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Those are my answers.
Nice.
What actors come to your mind?
I don't know. Thinking about Irreversible made me think about Leos Carax for some reason. So I'm thinking about Denise Levant
Okay.
right now. I'm still thinking about Juliette Binoche. And then I'm thinking about Demi Moore.
Ah, love her.
I don't know if I think she's a great actress. Like, I think she's a great, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on the level of, like, Jenna Rollins.
But that plot was for her, you know?
Totally, and she nailed it.
Yeah.
So I don't really care.
She was, like, the only person that could have been in that role, I feel like.
She did perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not disparaging her. I love her. I'm just saying, I don't know about the I don't know. But I love her, and I'm thinking about her. So Demi, shout out. Love you, girl. I'm just going to read a list of movies for you to watch.
Okay.
The Day He Arrives by Hong Sang-soo. Everyone Else by Marin Ada, who made Tony Erdmann. The Baron of Arizona by Samuel Fuller. Day for Night by Truffaut. La Cienega by Lucretia Martel. Also Zama by Lucretia Martel. Chinese Roulette by Rainer Werner Fassbender. And Neighboring Sounds, which is a Brazilian film by... Filho is his last name. Kleber Mendoza Filho.
I just like a quick flex to end the episode.
You know what? I'm so happy that I could provide a quick flex here at the end of this Pirate.com sponsored, Synagogue sponsored episode of Intermission, which I'm going to go ahead and say is the greatest episode we've done, guys.
We'll find out.
Let's give it up for ourselves one time. Seriously.
And welcome our newest host.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here, guys. The reveal episode is finally behind us. We're excited about season 5, guys. Tune in to pirate.com for more information.
You're a natural.
Megan, do you want to sign us out? Any announcements for the weekend?
No announcements from me. You already told everyone how to watch your movie.
I did.
So
I'm just constantly just like advertising for myself.
I think I asked. Is there anything else you want to leave the listener with?
Just, like tell your loved ones that you love them. I'm going to leave it on a very heavy note.
Beautiful.
Tell your loved ones you love them every fucking day, even when you don't. Life is short.
Yeah.
And this is
for your stepkids.
Yeah, tell your stepkids every day you love them more than your real kids. And life will go very well for you.
Okay, well, I always end this the same way. It's time to get lost.
You've had 19 endings for the record.
19?
Which I like. We're on ending 19.
Oh, like us in this current episode?
Yeah.
It'll find itself in the edit.
I'm looking forward to like 10 more endings, but let's hear this one.
No, that was it. It was time to get lost.
Oh.
Yeah, so
that's the next thing. So we really are ending.
So this is it.
Time to get lost is like your catchphrase?
Yeah, I just started saying it and it just stuck.
All right, time to get lost.
Okay, bye.
Good evening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. To stay in touch, follow our Instagram page at It's Intermission Time and share with your friends. As always, Intermission is produced by Jazeel Chu and Olivia Dean, and of course, hosted by yours truly, Megan Braun. This episode is brought to you by The Synagogue.